We know what Chris Young and the rest of the baseball operations the Rangers had for dinner. Chicken. Because it was winner chicken dinner for the Rangers at the winter meetings this year. You don't really want to win the offseason, but you don't mind if you do. We talk about it next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. Two guys super happy to be Texas Rangers, and one guy determined to get them back to where they were in 2023. Hi there. Welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast with John Radigan, Rads, Abby Jones, Abs, and J-Dub, Jeff Wilson over there. We got the Prophet in here, lots of stuff to show you and bring to you that he helped provide for us today, and we appreciate you too. Like us, subscribe to us, and keep on chatting. We've loved the chats that we've had over the course of the winter meetings. They're over now, and truly, when one team signs a guy for 15 years for $765 million, I'm not sure you can say anybody else is going to win the offseason, Jeff. But, the Rangers were as active as anybody, and the main thing is they were checking boxes, right? Accomplishing goals at the winter meetings.
Yeah, exactly right. They dive into this stuff in the offseason, even during the World Series run when the front office was busy with other things. They still had scouts and whatnot working on their offseason plan because they were going to have to move quickly once the playoff run ended. But these are targeted moves, as they say, and we talked about Higashioka, that signing, targeted. They wanted him from day one. Everybody knew they wanted Eovaldi. It was a matter of finding the right price point, which the market set. And then Jake Berger, I don't know how they come up with guys to target in trades. You figure that the Marlins might be motivated where they are to drop somebody, but like Jake Berger, God, why would you drop him? He's got 4 years of control left, and he's
making under $1 million.
Right, he's hitting home runs for you left and right. They didn't even get 3 top 15 prospects from the Rangers. So, really good move of the Jacob Webb signing. There are a bevy of arms out there. He had a nice year. He came at the right price. He's motivated to be with the Rangers. So, they did a nice job. They're not done. There's still that fella named Roki Sasaki out there who the Rangers are very intent on meeting with. Believe they have a good chance if they do meet with them, and then clearly there's bullpen help that's needed. So how that's acquired, whether it's by trading Nathaniel Lowe, let's say, or whether it's through free agency and dropping a little money on there. So pretty interesting winter meetings. They come out in great shape. They feel like they have some conversations started, some groundwork laid that'll lead to other deals and or turn them in a different direction. So here we go. The big one's out of the way, the big week's out of the way, and now it's kind of, expect something to happen in the next 10 days, though. The Rangers usually have something between now and Christmas, definitely between now and New Year's Day. That's kind of historically when they've gotten a lot of work done.
Yeah, and I think that's the big point. They did make a lot of moves, but it's not the end of their work, scratching the surface. But the Rangers, you just want to point out the fact that they are reevaluating this club and program and franchise from the top to the bottom, because at times you can put a Band-Aid on a situation, but maybe that doesn't fix everything down to, the root of the issue. And it seems like the Rangers are trying to get everybody on the same page, a winning atmosphere, a winning attitude. I absolutely love the front office moves that were made, the coaching staff. That's such a big part of it. and you see them kind of taking care of business first that way, and then the players follow. And I like that move a lot.
You know, it's a great point. And when you mentioned it, Abs, the thing that I thought of, the Band-Aid that came to mind might go back to like the year that they got Corey Kluber.
Yeah.
Like that was almost a Band-Aid. Like there were so many things wrong internally, right, in the body within that Ranger team build, you know, the way it was built and all that thing. But thought, man, if we can get Corey Kluber, you know, we can have this guy at the top of the rotation. And again, obviously 2020 derailed in such a bad way for everybody. But none worse than the Rangers, who only got one inning out of him. And of course they would have never, you know, acquired him had they expected that. But that does, to your point, like sometimes you're at that point in the sort of, you know, building of a team where you just go, yeah, let's just try this.
Yeah, stick them
right?
there. Let's
stick a Band-Aid on there. Yeah. And this time, perhaps it's a completely different philosophy. I don't think it's that. I think it's just where they are in this window that's still open.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
they only won in 2023. Yeah. This window is still open.
I think it's, you know, just who is in charge. And I think this is Chris Young through and through. You know, Chris Young is not the kind of guy that wants a temporary fix when he wants long-term results. I mean, that's my takeaways from really any conversation with Chris Young. He doesn't even judge things by the amount of success. He judges it by how long they have success. And, you know, when he talked about player development and specifically pitching, he said, I don't want us to just, you know, pump out a few good pitchers. I want us to be known in Major League Baseball as a long-time, creator of arms in the game. And so that's what I'm really impressed about with Chris Young. He knows both sides of the baseball business and on the field as well. So, you know, he thinks about things that other GMs and, you know, he's now, what is your acronym?
POBO.
Yeah.
Now the POBO. But no, he's in a great spot to do so. So, you know, I just think he thinks about things from start to finish. He knows what it took to win. He can get them back there. But again, he wants to be championship level every single year.
Yeah.
You know, he's really not going to put this much effort and energy and time and money and all the other things into it if there's not the end result.
There's not complacency. I think that's the best thing about it. And I don't know that the Rangers were necessarily complacent last offseason because they did address their key need, which was the bullpen. I mean, couldn't have gone any better, honestly. Now they did enter the season with Leclerc as the closer, but those things worked themselves out. You know, you could make a case that Yates and Robertson were the best 8th and 9th inning duo in the game. You really could.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they weren't complacent to say, oh, well, let's just let Sporzy and Leclerc go out there and hope for the best. You know, they made some additions. They were quick to, in the season, make the change. This offseason, you know, Nathaniel Lowe needed to get better last offseason. He needs to get better this offseason. Whether Jake Berger is the indicator that Nathaniel Lowe is done, I don't know, but it also gives the Rangers some lineup depth. If Josh Young is injured again, well, you got Jake Berger, not a great third baseman, but it's a power bat.
Option.
You're not losing 25 home runs, or it cushions the blow. You know, maybe it'd be a Josh Smith, you know, at third base and Berger at the DH full time. Whatever it is. So those are big moves, and still, you know, Evaldi's just the glue that holds everything together. If the pitching staff, that's what, you know, I've had people who entering free agency were like, they have to re-sign him. He's the guy. Keeps it all together, keeps it from unraveling, and he's a good pitcher. So they got that too going for him. And man, they're just in a good spot. And it's a long off season. You know, like I said, they generally will make a move here before the end of the year. Another move, whether that's a trade or whether that's a free agent signing. At some point, there's going to be a run on relievers. And you know, it's kind of like when you have fantasy draft and there's a run on, I don't know, quarterbacks or second baseman, whatever league you're in. You got to get one. Otherwise, you're going to be at a disadvantage. And the Rangers won't want to miss that run. And plus, if they strike early, they kind of set the market.
Yeah, they do. And to your point about Nathan Eovaldi at the, and we're going to show you pictures from this event a little later on in the program, but at the toy drive last night, there were 7 or 8 Rangers active players there. And they went around, they were interviewed about the signing of Eovaldi, and position players and pitchers alike said, you have no idea what this guy is as a team leader. I think it was Simeon who was quoted as saying, he's the reason we won the World Series in 2023. Now, you can name a lot of reasons, right?
Yeah.
Corey Seager was a reason.
Yeah.
Adolis Garcia was a reason. You know, certainly Jordan Montgomery could lay claim to being part of the reason. But a guy inside, Marcus Simeon, said he is the reason, meaning Nathan Eovaldi. That is a testament to the leadership that this guy shows. And it's something we've known about, but this is a way of them stating it in, you know, sort of unequivocal terms.
It's rare when, you know, talent and then just this whole other side of characteristics and who he is as a person go hand in hand when thinking about signing Nathan Eovaldi to a contract, you know, because there are a lot of guys in the game of baseball that you say, hey, I'll take everything about them that they bring on the field, but off the field, you know, like there could be some hesitation there. But Nathan Eovaldi, I mean, yes, he is unbelievably talented, but it's almost even better that like his character, his reputation means that much more because it almost overshadows his talent. And he's incredibly talented, you know? So that's a rare find in the game of baseball. When Nathan Eovaldi's career is said and done, I'm so excited to see what he chooses to do after playing because I think it's going to be, you know, back in the game of baseball, continuing to contribute. I don't know if it's at, you know, the younger level. Maybe he wants to help develop guys and, you know, learn things that he wish he knew then at that point or be one of the greats and, you know, like a Mike Maddox in the game of pitching. So, yeah, I mean, Nathan Eovaldi, he's truly like a one of one, but the Rangers are incredibly lucky to have his presence and his talent with this club. You
know, to your point, maybe he's a starter, maybe he's going to follow in Chris Young's footsteps and go into a front office somewhere. It seems like he's really hands-on, though, and wouldn't mind being a pitching coach. But keep in mind, he's about to cash in on $75 million on top of the $32 million.
You may want to prop
so
speed up.
you know, 5 years and $107 million from the Rangers the last 5 years. That might make me want to not do anything.
Don't have
play
to work
golf
quite as hard as
watch my kids. So that's kind of the, you know, Greg Maddox is not a pitching coach because Greg made a lot of money and was very successful. Mike, who had a wonderful career though, is a pitching coach. Yeah, so you know, the greats, you know, Magic Johnson tried to coach, right? And that didn't work out. You know, when these greats try to coach, it doesn't necessarily work. So I don't know, but he does seem geared toward a future in the sport and whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely true. And it makes me think there's always managers who were catchers.
Yeah.
There haven't been that many pitchers turned managers.
You know, that's true. And, you know, Bud Black is one.
Yeah, Roger Craig did it when he was the pitching coach for the Tigers and then became one, but not many.
You're right. You know, Tommy Lasorda was a pitcher, though not a very good one. Mike Maddox interviewed with the Red Sox, I don't know, 10 or 12 years ago to be their manager. John Farrell was a pitcher.
That's right.
So there are a few.
I know exactly why
but
they
it doesn't
don't do
happen.
it.
Because
They want the PO life, pitcher only life. You stretch, you get there a little bit before the game. Like they have the easiest route, you know, in the game of baseball. Pitchers are kind of lazy.
Maybe it seemed like that, but those pitchers are out early these days.
No, but the PO life is one that is desired in the game of baseball. So maybe they're like, managing everything? I'm good.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you know, they know, but I don't think people know in general what an all-encompassing job not only manager is, but general manager. I mean, you know, Chris Young, he is not afraid to work. He burns the candle at both ends, as do all general managers, and it's all-encompassing. So, it's interesting, though. I totally agree with both of you that Nathan Eovaldi is going to have really anything he wants to have in the game of baseball after his playing days are done. Maybe he'll be, though, like a Michael Young or someone like that just wants very little involved. In fact, we bumped into Cole Hamels the other day.
That's right.
Cole's actually.
Anytime.
Yeah, he's getting anytime. Cole's actually
an inside joke, guys.
just
Sorry.
started. Yeah, that's a joke for about 5 of us out there. Cole's just started doing some work for the Phillies, and it was nice to see him. They still live here. But anyway, that's what the Rangers did over the course of the winter meetings, and they certainly were as active as anyone. Did they win it? I don't know. Do they care? I know they don't. What they want to win is the World Series next year. We'll talk about that coming up later on in the program. We'll talk about what they've been doing since the winter meetings, which is pretty cool, actually. And coming up next, we've got our sit-down interview with our old friend Ron Washington. You don't want to miss it. Get ready to chuckle, laugh, and enjoy the wit and the wisdom of Wash. All coming next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. But first, the only time I've ever won my fantasy football league.
Oh.
Once?
Only one time. I don't play anymore. Only one time I ever won it. I picked a whole bunch of Detroit Lions.
Oh.
And it was way back. Eric Kramer was the quarterback.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I was going to say maybe Scott Mitchell.
UBT.
Herman Moore was the
Okay.
receiver. And they had a little running back, you might remember, called Barry Sanders.
Okay.
So I picked a whole bunch of Lions, and it's a bad idea to pick a bunch of guys from the same team, but I won that year because the Lions' offense was prolific. So this year, and Sleeper, Jeff talks a lot about their daily picks. Right now, my notice from Sleeper today was who to play in your fantasy league if you're still alive in the playoffs.
Right.
Well, my son is. I'm not playing, but my son is. And one of the reasons he picked, at my request, Jared Goff. At the beginning of the year. And the efficiency that he's shown, he's the guy they say you should pick. $100 first match deposit if you go to sleeper.com and use the code DLLS Rangers.
Well, if the Rangers keep on adding these kind of guys to their roster, especially a certain Roki Sasaki,
Yeah.
you're going to want to make it out to a baseball game.
Yep.
And you can do that with Game Time. Game Time is the best thing on the market that allows you to purchase your tickets at the most affordable price, check out where you're going to go so you can see if you have a good seat because you hate to pay all that money and the foul pole be in the way, or just be so far away you can't even really see and you need binoculars. Go to Game Time. They have a money-back guarantee if something were to happen to the event, and it's just the best price. You can get them last minute as well, so if you're spontaneous and you don't really want to put a lot of thought, planning, time into it, you can go to Game Time moments before the event, get the cheapest option available. Use Game Time today. Use the code DLLS for $20 off of your first purchase. What time is it?
Game time.
There you go.
I was ready to ask you because I was afraid. Usually we set you up for that. So
I got to keep you on your toes, right?
There we go. I like that. All right. Abs, you hadn't had the background experience with Wash that we had, but I know you enjoyed our chat with him as much as we did.
Yeah, I spent a little time with him in Atlanta.
Oh, you did? That's right.
Just briefly.
Oh, that's right.
But hey, Ron Washington is a guy that you don't forget. You meet him once. It's all, he sticks out. He lived up to the Ron Washington expectations because I have heard more stories from Jeff.
Oh, man, there's so many stories I haven't tapped into, too.
Probably not allowed to. But no, Ron Washington is one of one. He's hilarious.
The greatest. Let's hear our chat with Wash now. Hey, welcome back to the DLLS Rangers podcast. We have caught up with an old friend, Ron Washington. Wash, great to have you, man.
Great to be here. I'm so appreciative that you guys wanted to sit me down and talk a little baseball, a little bit of life.
Yeah, we're going to go down memory lane in a minute, but you guys have been an extremely active player throughout the offseason already, which I know has to make you smile.
Oh, no doubt about it. We know the adjustments we had to make. We knew we had to bring in some character people and some people with some experience, and Perry jumped on that right away. And, if we don't do anything else the rest of the winter, I'm willing to go to fight with what I have.
Your first year in Texas wasn't great. Your first year with the Angels wasn't great. Do you see similarities that things are headed the right way?
Well, the only difference that I see is I have more youth
right
in Anaheim than I had in Texas when I first started managing in Texas. And I was in total control this year in Anaheim. I had to fight control my first year in Texas.
I got you.
So that was the difference.
Veterans a little stubborn.
Yes.
Okay.
We talked yesterday about your young players and, just how much that you believe in them. How much do you think it means to them to see you guys buy in, with these free agents and be so competitive in the offseason?
Well, I think it means a lot to them because what they went through last year, we're still in 24, they needed to experience that. I mean, when you look at the back of their baseball card, it was blank until 24. Now, when you look at their baseball card in 25, they got one line on the back of it. What have they experienced with one line? So it was a lot of fun watching them grow because they did. They bought in to what we are trying to do. And now when they come back in spring training in 25, the accountability part of growing kicks in. And that's every player keeping everyone accountable. It's not just one player trying to deal with 4 or 5 guys. Now, all 25 or 26 guys, we have leaders now because they all been through it.
So this is a funny game, Wash. In Texas, you would tell Perry Manazian, hey, can you go get my bag? Hey, I didn't get my bag from the airport. And now he's the general manager. Then Perry was Zach Manazian's son, and who was the traveling coordinator when you were here.
Well, and Perry still let people know where he came from. He's not shy to let you know that he did that. And that's the good character and the good trait that Perry has. And he has a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge about the game to be such a young man. And the thing I love about him the most is his inclusion. He includes people in what he's trying to decide.
You can't shake young general managers.
No, you can't.
Yeah, your GM's all young. Jesus.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. But
unbelievable.
I thought one of the coolest things that happened last year with the Rangers, big year for them, All-Star game, coming off the World Series, all that, was when Elvis waited to announce his retirement until the Angels came to town at the end of the year so that you could be there. What did that mean to you?
It meant everything. Because the first time I met Elvis blew me off, and I had to call him toward me to let him know who's running things.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I sent him back out on the field, and I hit him one ground ball.
Right.
And I told him, now we through.
That's right.
And from that point on, I was on Elvis every single day. A lot of people thought I was too tough, but he needed that to make him understand that as good as he is, he can't take it for granted. Look around. You got Michael Young right here. You got Kinsler over here. You got Beltre. I mean, we had a lot of professional players that worked to be where they are. Mm-hmm. And you came from Double-A here. So it was almost like a gift if you think about it.
Yeah, sure.
You see what I'm saying? So you're not going to come here on a gift. I'm going to make you earn what happens. And that was the greatest thing to my heart when I got a call and said that Elvis is going to wait till we come to town to do that, because I love me some Elvis Andrus. And watching him every day, you understand why other people love him. Yeah. He's a great teammate, he's a great person, and now he's a tremendous family man.
You don't see a lot of tough love in the game anymore, Wash. I think your guys might have experienced some of that last year. Is it hard to do these days?
No, it's not hard to do when you develop a relationship. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they begin to understand that this tough love is just what it is. Tough love. It's not criticism.
Yeah.
And I've always been the kind of person that I didn't let something go too far one way before I jumped back on it. And I made them understand, as soon as I see a little bend in what's going on, I'm going to be on it. And I had to be consistent in that, because that's what I told them I was going to do from the beginning.
Yeah.
And I was consistent in it.
Yeah.
And now I have a group of young men that understand that when we're talking about something and we're getting on them about something, it's what they caused. We didn't just pick that out to talk about it. You caused us to talk about it. And the friendship just continued to grow.
Yeah.
I know that you love the game of baseball and you love being so hands-on with your players. When you were with the Rangers, you threw BP and your ground ball work, that's something that you're known for. As a manager at this point in your career, in your life, are you still able to have that hands-on experience with these young guys?
No doubt about it. It's not as consistent because the young infield guy that I hired, he's mastering what I do. And he's a hog. He want to take over everything. And anything that I try to get involved in, if he can handle it, he don't let me handle it. And so throughout the year, he called me his assistant. And when he had kids come, when he had too many kids waiting on him, then he would say, "Hey, Skip,
Then
come
the
help me."
assistant would come help.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But I was always in the background, looking at it, making sure it was done properly, and I would infuse myself in it if I needed to.
Because that's a big part of your philosophy,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Who is that, Wash? What's the guy's name?
Ryan Goins,
Man.
Oh, yeah.
37 years old.
I'm about to say, yeah.
Yeah.
A stud.
Not everybody could do it the way you want it done.
He's a stud,
Yeah.
and he's an animal. And that's what I love about him. His energy level is just as good as mine.
Yeah.
And he loved doing what he's doing, and that's why I picked him.
It's why you got picked initially to manage the Rangers, is that energy level.
Yeah.
Are people even in, I'm sure Perry's not, but in Anaheim, are they surprised that this man at this age still has that energy?
No, because they remember me coming through there with Texas whipping that butt. No, they always bring that up. They remembered me when I managed in Texas, and they remembered how we came up in there and the way we played.
Yeah.
They remembered that. And all they want to do is get back to Anaheim way. An Anaheim way, everybody knows is associated with Mike Scioscia being there.
Yep.
Playing aggressive baseball, pitching, playing defense, running the bases, executing fundamentals. Those are the type of things that we're trying to get these young kids to understand. Now, once we get that down, you'll have you 420, 430 at-bats to give them away if you want to. Mm-hmm. But that other 135, that's team at-bats, I want us to recognize that. Mm-hmm. And so that's where we are.
You and Sos came from the same background. I mean, Dodgers. Yeah. I mean, you talked about that yesterday. All the guys that raised you up and gave you the tough love. I mean, it's
and it's just the type of baseball they had been playing in Anaheim. It just got lost. And then the whole organization got in a turmoil, and now we're in the process of straightening it out. And it's been a fun year for me to watch the growth of our minor league system now and the things that we are doing down there and our expectations at the major leagues. Yeah, you look at the record, you say, what are these talking about? Well, it was all my young kids doing it.
Yeah.
If the guys that we depended on stayed healthy, if they would have stayed healthy, it would have been a different story. Yeah. And I have no doubt about that. So going into 25, our expectations is for this to be a different story.
Well, it's amazing because we've talked a lot about all you've done as an organization. It's been active, as we said. You're also getting one of the best players in the game back, right?
Yes.
You didn't have to acquire him.
No, you don't have to acquire him.
Yeah.
And Mike Trout. And, he's excited. We're excited. And sometimes things happen to you in this business that you don't have any control over. He don't even know how he tore his meniscus the first time. And the second time when he tore it, he was just as surprised as the first time. So sometimes the baseball gods challenge you. Mm-hmm. And Mike Trout has always been the kind of guy that accepted challenges. He has a challenge. We have a challenge, and I want him to know you don't have to go through that challenge by yourself. We're going to be there to help you along the way. All we want you to do is be able to go out there on that field and play.
Oh, he was off to a great start last year. He was kicking ass.
He still has it, man. He still has it. You watch him work, he got
80% better, right?
Oh, I mean, you watch him work, and then you visualize other people that you watch work, they still far apart. Mm-hmm. He know exactly what he's doing and how to do it. We just got to keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Well, we know what the Rangers are probably going to do with Nathan Eovaldi and Astros maybe there, but the competitiveness of the AL West this offseason. You guys signed Kikuchi and then the A's signed Severino. What are you looking forward to in this division in 2025?
Well, I'm looking for sustainability and consistency. That's it. If we can sustain the things that we want to do and we can be consistent at doing the things we want to do, I'm not going to sit here and say it, but we're going to run the West down.
right,
So
you heard it here first.
it's about what everybody want to do.
Yeah.
Sustain and be consistent. That's it. And the signings that we have done, some of it is depth for addition, and some of it is leadership. You know, Kyle Hendrick, big time leader.
Yeah.
Smart.
You see what I'm saying? Kikuchi, you know, he has the ability to lead, and we haven't decided how we're going to set up our rotation yet, but he's certainly going to be somewhere at the top, and we need him to lead. And as I told you, we're trying to infuse into this young core that we have, we want 25 or 26 leaders. I mean, last year, it was my coaching staff. This year, they got some players on my staff now that can coach those young kids up, peers.
Yep. All right.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Sounds
man, that's
great, man.
We appreciate
I'm
you so
ready to
much.
go, Wash. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go to spring training right now.
We're ready to run through a wall for you, Wash.
And I'm consistent with that, and we are consistent with that all year long.
Yeah.
That's the good thing that I loved about what my young kids did. We kept them in the fight, and there wasn't a day that they came to the yard. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? I'm tired. No. You don't think we tired? We're trying to watch it when we watch it.
You can end that for us.
Yeah, but
you
we
play better.
But we gonna get after it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome, Wash. We
Yeah.
appreciate you so
Appreciate
much,
you guys.
man. Great to see you again.
You bet.
We're
Talk
seeing
to
you a
you
lot.
Yes.
Yeah. So Wash loves him some Elvis. I think I speak for all of us when I say we love us some Wash. Or should I say we love us some Wash, you know?
He's one of a kind, man.
He's great.
It's hilarious.
He's older than Bruce Bochy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
they both have early season birthdays. Wash is going to be 72 this year.
Boach will be 70, right?
Yeah. I mean, let's look at that guy at 72.
Yeah, fantastic. More coming as we get to your questions. Lots of them today. We appreciate them. We've also got our batting cleanup segment coming up. It's all coming next on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
There's still time for some Christmas shopping to be done, and if you're a husband or boyfriend or brother or sister or mother, whatever, has a fan cave, as they call it at Saturday Neon, you need to go to Saturday Neon. This is a company that is new to us. They make licensed college neon signs. All right, if you're from the new SEC country in Texas, or from Big 12 country and up north in Oklahoma, all around, you can get these neon signs, and they're really cool. Unlike the traditional neon signs, these LED signs won't break or shatter. They'll give you that classic uniform glow that you know and love. Two college buddies started this company, probably under a neon sign, drinking a few brews. Well, that sounds pretty darn good to me. So head over to SaturdayNeon.com and use the code DLLS for 10% off your favorite sign.
And what did they call it? The fan cave?
Fan cave is what they call it, yeah.
To complete your fan cave, you need to go to FOCO because
man.
they have bobbleheads.
Yeah.
They might have ornaments. I see some sports-related, fan-related ornaments here.
I bet they do.
But they also have gear, so it would make a great Christmas present under the tree. Rads, I might get you your Detroit Lions overalls.
Oh my gosh!
So that you
don't
can do
it.
your gardening.
Oh wow!
If we did like a dirty Santa, it would be on my list. I don't know if Miss Kathy would love me or she'd be like, "Oh, keep it to yourself next year."
Yeah.
But FOCO, they do take your fandom to the next level. You can even have friendship bracelets. I think Miss Molly would like those. She's a big Taylor Swift girl, so you could get her Rangers friendship bracelet. Go to FOCO, though. They have the best fan gear, lowest price. Use the code DLLS, 10% off. And thank you so much to FOCO because they helped us set up our studio and looks great with all the Cowboys, Mavs, Rangers, and Stars stuff.
We love them, and we love you. We appreciate you being here with us. Again, we had the emergency pod. We had a big, week. We had different times every day so far this week, and including two. I guess that was Tuesday that we ended up having two shows,
Long
one
day.
at 9:30 in the morning and one at about 8:30 at night. So anyway, glad to have you here and always love the questions and love to take some time to engage with each and every one of you and start running through answers to each and every one of those. So let's get going. Where are we starting?
You want me to just pick them?
There we go. Rarities.
There you go.
All right.
Will the Rangers still get Jock Peterson after the Berger trade? I don't think they're in on him anymore, Jeff. Do you?
I don't know what they're in on. It seems like the Max Fried thing really kind of showed that they have some flex financially if it's the right situation. I thought I kind of presented that yesterday, and without asking, I just stated as fact. You guys went for it with Fried and Evaldi. It didn't work out. You got one of them, and it was a unique situation, and the guys in the room nodded their heads in kind of agreement. And if there's the right fit, Peterson, Berger, Lowe would be a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot of at bats that need to go around. I'm still not convinced they're going to trade Nathaniel Lowe. I think it makes a lot of sense. It's definitely a possibility. It gives them some flexibility. Trading away $10 million would help. Maybe get some bullpen pieces signed. I know a question that I don't know if a question or a statement in the chat. Devin Williams from the Brewers. Well, the Brewers have a first baseman. They have Rhys Hoskins. Maybe he becomes more of a DH. But anyway, I think there are possibilities out there. But I do feel like the Rangers need another outfielder. Mm-hmm. I do think they're an outfielder short. I don't like the idea of Josh Smith and Ezekiel Duran being your backup outfielders, because they're also your backup infielder.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see a true outfielder go out there who could play, a month or two if somebody pulls a hamstring or something like that. So I'd like to see that happening.
Yeah. Jock Peterson, obviously a power guy. I mean, the thing that was so attractive about Berger was the money side of it.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, when you look at Jock, I mean, he's $12.5 million kind of deal guy. So it is, it is how much the Rangers want to spend. I totally agree that Jock and Berger and Lowe all together, that's a lot. So you definitely don't need all three of those guys because, Jock and Berger, I mean, numbers are a little bit different, but it's the same like power kind of guy. So you don't want to have too many cooks in the kitchen there. But he's a lefty. So do you want, another favorable matchup there? I mean, I do think there's gaps in the Rangers lineup when, you have to sit a guy because he's not great against a lefty pitcher. I mean, that puts the Rangers at a disadvantage. No matter how good you are defensively, that is a spot that they have to fill in. So,
yeah, on Jock Peterson's side is that Tavares and Evan Carter aren't good against lefties. Yeah. The Rangers didn't hit righties very well last year, so he would definitely upgrade those two areas. And Jake Berger is a right-handed bat who hits righties and hits the heater. So, those are reasons you could see it, and the other reasons would be cost and just, there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to trade Nathaniel. You want to get something back for him if you do.
Yeah.
So there's a log jam that needs to be cleared first.
Yeah.
But Peterson's, there aren't a lot of guys like him out there.
No, that's
so
right.
He's going to have a pretty robust market.
Yeah. The question from Holly, who has a great name this time of year, by the way. Holly, when will the Evo signing be official? We think very soon, maybe as soon as tomorrow. Basically, it's just a physical was all they were waiting on. They have to go through their due diligence, even though it was their own player.
Yeah,
but that's expedited.
I think they're very comfortable with the medicals.
I think they feel like the medicals are pretty good.
I'm sure the insurance company wants to see a physical and all of that stuff.
Could be as soon as tomorrow.
I think he could take it today, pass it today, and then I don't know if they'll do a conference call or an in-person thing, but it's in the works.
Yeah, no doubt.
Very soon.
Could be tomorrow, could be Monday, and we'll be here for you whenever it is. So, again, we've had the pleasant opportunity because of the timing of our show to get only their only acquisition of the offseason on live, but we did. We got Kyle Higashioka on live right after his Zoom call with the writers and so forth the other day.
We're working on it.
Yep, we'll keep you posted. Stay here to find out.
Jeff asked, Sports Track puts Scherzer on the market value 1 year, $15.2 million. What do you think about someone like that for missing the long relief spot? So Scherzer heard through chatter that, clubs that would be interested in him and probably the best fit would be clubs that would contend. You're not going to stick him somewhere that really has no chance.
He's not going to go there. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think $15 million is a very appropriate number for Max Scherzer. I could see the deal being between 15 and 20, and maybe depending on the club, bump it up a little bit more if it's, a sleeper team. But I could see him really fitting well somewhere like Philly. I think that would be a great spot for him. They're always in the postseason. To have the veteran guy.
Dave Dombrowski from the Tigers.
Yeah, Dave
connection.
Dombrowski from the Tigers. I mean, a lot of that makes sense there. One thing that I know about Max is he wants a chance to win more. And Philly always has that chance.
Yeah. And $15 million, to answer Jeff's question in full for the missing long relief spot. No, that's way too much money for a long reliever.
Yeah.
I don't know that Max would have to come back on a pretty team-friendly deal. If the Rangers are gonna, they're gonna be open-minded to a starting pitcher, it would have to be extremely team-friendly, I think, though, for the Rangers to go down that road. But he did win a World Series here and had a great time. And but the medical questions at his age, and he's gonna want to give it a shot as a starter.
Yeah, no doubt he will. And the Rangers are really not. I think. Jeff, that CY's exact words were not in hot pursuit of a starter anymore, right? And that doesn't mean
that's how I asked the question.
You asked it
I
that
said,
way.
"Are you still in hot pursuit of a starter?" And he said, "I wouldn't characterize it like that."
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
But like Scherzer's not going to not be a starter.
Right.
No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be a long reliever. And the Rangers with that depth, the 8, starters that we showed you yesterday, with that kind of depth, there's a couple of long relief options there.
Yeah, and I don't want to tick off Ethan, who's in the chat and tweeted something too to me, but he's not a big Andrew Heaney guy. Andrew Heaney's going to get a deal to start somewhere, but Andrew Heaney could be pretty handy. If you look at a couple of years ago before his Rangers time, he pitched as a swing guy, some spot starts, some relief work. He's been good for the Rangers out of the bullpen. Who could forget? And as a starter, in the World Series, he pitched so well in his one start. Andrew Heaney doesn't seem to have any ego as long as he's on a good team. And sure, he's coming off a career year as a starter, and that's why I think he'll end up somewhere as a starter. But I could see him coming back. But he would have to understand the role it is, and it would have to be for less money than he's hoping to get.
What do you think his market is? His market value?
Well, I would say he'd probably get a 2-year deal.
Yeah,
he's a notch below the Kikuchi, Eovaldi, Severino plateau. So, but he made a lot of money, $2 and $25 the last 2 years. So he's probably due a little raise, but we'll see how the market shakes out for him.
Yeah. What else we got up there? Oh, Kenzie.
With the money that they potentially
that was potentially available for Fried. Is that something you see them using on Minter, Yates type reliever? I do, Kenzie. I think that listening to Chris Young yesterday talk about what Yates and Robertson did for the team, knowing how fortunate the Rangers were in 23 with such a crap bullpen. And also knowing Chris Young, as I've said before, the World Series ring he got was in large part due to that great Royals bullpen. So I think that they want to do that. I know they have some young arms, and the future role of those guys, Teodo specifically, not yet determined, but to get a proven veteran reliever, that's definitely going to happen. Depending on who it is. Yates, Scott, Estevez, Kenley Jansen, Minter probably not at that price range. Minter would probably come in under that, but I think that it's going to happen.
It's interesting because what the goal is, and it's amazing that the Rangers have accomplished so much of their off-season goals with still staying well within the goal of not exceeding the luxury tax threshold. The roster resource has them at $220 million right now. I think Evan Grant reported this morning he's got it at $214. They're probably somewhere in the middle of that, but that's significantly below $241. Now they want to keep it. They want to keep them. They don't want to go right to $241 now, right?
Yeah.
They want some flexibility for moves that might need to be made in the offseason.
Sure.
But I like the fact that they've gotten these two big things done: the starting pitcher and the power bat. And they're still well within there's still plenty of money. Let's put it that way, to work on other things.
Yeah, and the willingness to pursue Fried, I think it's a unique situation.
Yes.
But to also, Chris Young on Tuesday, the luxury tax threshold was brought up, and he said, I think if it makes the difference between winning and losing, Ray Davis would be willing to go over it again. There's penalties with it, but the Rangers, to your point, John, they went over it in 23 only after the trade deadline.
Yep.
So that might be a situation where they'd be willing to go over it. So I'd be surprised if they did it before the season, as you just mentioned, but I wouldn't rule it out with a midseason acquisition.
Yeah, there you go. So, and that's exciting, really. I mean, and that's a testament, really, to Chris Young always says, whenever we have needed the money, ownership has come through. And so from our perspective and from a fan perspective, sometimes it gets frustrating, especially, when, again, the whole TV thing has seemed like a bit of an excuse for a few years. But not that long ago, they were spending, $500 million in one offseason. So they are absolutely willing to spend, and it's nice to hear Chris Young reassure that they are willing to do so again this year. We already got a break? We did all those questions already? For goodness
sakes.
sake.
When you're having fun.
All right, that was fun. We've got more coming up as we get to our batting cleanup segment. We'll answer the burning question, what the hell's with Jeff's hat, next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. We know what's with his shirt and with mine.
Yeah.
And with mine. Look at there. We've got the beautiful DLLS stuff. This is really one of my favorites with the skyline. I'm still waiting on my gray one that has the skyline and the horseshoe. Did you get that one yet?
Oh yeah.
You did, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna flaunt it.
Jeff's gotten.
You can pretty much ask me, do you have that one? I'll say yes.
You'll say yes.
Although I really haven't branched away from the two sports I cover.
I was gonna say, do you have like stars?
I don't have any Stars
Mavs?
gear. I have
Ironically,
a Mavs
my favorite
and a
one is my
Cowboys.
Stars one. Yeah.
I don't even have a Rangers one yet.
You don't?
Sorry.
We're going to have to get you one.
I have a Cowboys one.
That's what we'll get you for Christmas. Store.allcitynetwork.com is the place to go to get these beautiful shirts. They're very comfortable. They're inexpensive, and we encourage you to go get them at our that way you represent us. And I've seen several people putting their pictures up on social media representing DLLS, and we appreciate it. It's growing and growing every day. So get yours early and be a part of the fun and be ahead of the game on all this fun stuff.
Go ahead and check out your Die Hard membership as well. $79.99. Essentially, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because you get a free T-shirt, you get 20% off, you get 20% off of events and merchandise, and you get exclusive content that Jeff writes. Do you have anything?
I think I wrote 6 stories during the winter meetings.
Yeah.
Posted one late last night, kind of recapping the meetings. Got some leftovers too. So, yeah, we'll be cooking these next couple of days with gas, and the Rangers are going to have some news. They're going to hear from Nathan Eovaldi in all likelihood, and Jake Berger. So, good stuff ahead.
Be there or be square.
We appreciate you, diehards. We appreciate all the chat, and we'll always continue to try to engage with you, because why? We're here to make being a sports fan more fun, and that's what we're trying to do, and I hope we're doing that. I think we are. One of the things that's always fun is to watch Rangers give back with like open arms and an open heart, and I don't know that there's anybody that does that sort of. There's a million people that do. I mean, their Roberto Clemente guy this year was Simeon, right? I mean, Marcus always does. There's a lot of guys. But John and Jacqueline Gray get bitten by this holiday bug every year, and they are proud representatives of the toy drive that the Rangers do. And John is about, I'm going to say, 11 years away from being Santa. I mean, How perfect.
You mean the gray?
When that goes white, that red hair goes white.
John Gray going gray.
Going gray? Oh, that's a good point. I see what you did there. I missed that one.
You're rubbing off on me.
Yeah, I
Mads.
see what you did there. And he's going to look fantastic as a Santa. Look at the smile on his face. Talk about an open heart. This was all gifts that were given to kids. And look at the generosity.
Over 1,000 toys
of Rangers fans. There's, you see.
Look at those
see
sweaters.
That is Christmas personified right there with John and Jacqueline Gray, and you can say they're the ugly Christmas sweaters, but I think everything about that photo is fantastic.
Yeah, and
Agreed.
I went last year. I didn't get to go this year, but it's like they're so excited to host this event.
Yep.
It's not like we probably should do something like this. Like, genuinely does make them the happiest person there. And the Rangers are so lucky to have so many people like this in their organization. Just stand-up people all the way around.
Yeah, and we say lucky, and then we also realize that's one of the other things that Chris Young is always looking for, right? Not just the talent and not just the pedigree and all those types of things, but he wants good people. And there's just a whole bunch of them in that clubhouse, including John and Jacqueline. But I think I said there were like 7 or 8 of the players, pretty much everybody who lives here in the off season, was in attendance last night.
Yeah.
And that's just awesome. And signing autographs and talking to fans and interacting. And so anyway, hats off to all of them, especially the Grays, who helped spearhead this great generosity, and hats off to all the Rangers fans who also participated by being so generous and giving toys to those who are really in need. That's super fun.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's amazing.
Yeah. All right. So, Jeff, your hat.
Yeah.
Let's get to the hat.
Okay.
So, I do look at it, Jeff. Great fashion sense. I love that.
Yes,
Jeff,
Jeff,
you.
we do. Thank you very much.
But I always love that. Just a shirt or a hat that just has a logo, and people who know.
Yeah.
And people who don't have to do what I did today and say, what the hell's that on your hat?
Yeah, no, this is one of my favorites, and I don't buy a lot of stuff for myself, but I did buy this for myself. It is the Hickory Dickory Docks hat. It's the Rangers now low A affiliate again is the Hickory Crawdads, but for the last couple of years they have had a weekend where they're the Hickory Dickory Docks, and you guys know the nursery rhyme or what I don't think, is it a nursery rhyme?
It is, yeah.
Hickory
Ask
Dickory
G-Rad.
Dock. The mouse ran up the clock. Well, this is the mouse and the clock looks kind of pissed to have a mouse on it. But I tell you what, this is just a sharp hat, and it's gold and brown on the sides, and my wife said it was a bold fashion choice today, but she really likes the hat. So I hope to get a couple of these. The new high A affiliate is called the Hub City Spartanburgers in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and their hat that's available is just a burger, a smiling burger. So I'm going to get me one of those.
I was just going to say the same thing.
I need my friends Chuck Greenberg and Chris Almendaris at Frisco and Round Rock, respectively, to hook me up and see what we can do on their stuff. I love Teddy Roosevelt. And the Round Rock team always has a weekend where they're the Round Rock Donuts, and their hats are pretty fun. So anyway, a lot of fun stuff comes out of the minor leagues, and these little promotions and weekends are great. And this Round Rock one, I'm pretty sure is award winning, or is at least nominated for an award. It's pretty special.
You mean the Hickory one?
The Hickory, sorry.
Because the Round Rock one, when you said you love Teddy Roosevelt, I love Round Rock donuts.
Oh, delicious.
Oh,
yeah.
Have you ever? Oh man,
it's
like this big. The donut. The biggest donut you've ever seen, and it is so sweet. You wait in line almost any time of the day to get a Round Rock donut.
Yeah, I drove past last time I was in Round Rock, and I was like, well, this line's too long. I got to get to the ballpark.
3 o'clock in the afternoon, you're waiting in line to eat a donut.
I will say there's a nail polish company. It's called OPI, and it's other people's ideas. And so other people send in ideas of what the color should be called. And they're very, catchy. You'd be great at it.
I like
very
that.
Catchy, but to me, it's like the minor league teams. That was kind of the vibe there because their names are hilarious. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway.
The,
And
the trash pandas there in Huntsville,
Yeah,
Alabama.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
so many gems out
Yeah.
there, if you will.
Yeah.
But-
Amarillo sod poodles. Do you guys know what a sod
I
poodle is?
heard of them.
No.
It's a groundhog
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard of
Wow.
them.
or a prairie dog, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, But I have a game for you guys.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Baseball Reference put together, this list analytically of who has been who is their MVP, not the most valuable player, the most viewed player.
MVP, most viewed
MVP.
player. Okay.
So we're going to take a look at 1 through 10
Okay.
and take a guess. It can be current players or former players. So you maybe think a little historically, but they have a silhouette of the guy, and you just got to figure out who it is based on the
Oh,
silhouette
that sounds like fun.
and their ranking.
Okay.
So we have
So-
silhouettes.
Let's
So it's
take
like
a look.
a Rorschach test, for God's sake.
We're
okay?
gonna do one
You're
through
gonna
1 through 3. I have
Analyze
faith in
me
you both.
psychologically at the end of this thing. Go ahead.
Faith in you both. Let's take a look at 1 through 3, and I want your.
What the?
What do you mean?
One's
Looks like-
Ohtani.
1 looks like John, 2 looks like me, and 3 looks like the prophet.
Okay.
One's Ohtani.
Correct.
2 is Trout. 3 is
Incorrect.
Oh, 2 is Soto.
Incorrect.
All right.
Two is Judge.
Correct.
Yep.
Oh, it's the long neck.
Yep.
Dead giveaway.
Yep.
And then 3 would be a very long necked individual as well. Soto.
Yeah. I think
Correct.
3 is Soto. Yep.
Number 1, Ohtani. 2, Judge. 3, Soto. Good job.
Okay.
Let's do 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Oh, Jesus.
Now,
So 4 is Babe Ruth. Look at that.
look,
Squatty little head.
look at the traps. Traps are a giveaway
Mike
for
Trout.
me there. There you go.
That's Trout. Okay.
5, I will give you a hint. It is one of the greatest in the game
Ever?
ever.
Willie Mays.
No,
But it's a guy who does not play anymore.
he does not play anymore.
Does he
Correct.
breathe anymore?
Yes, he does.
Oh, good.
Boy, that's a
Barry
tough
Bonds.
one. That's
Barry
a big.
Bonds, correct.
Oh, big head. I should have. Yep, big
Yeah,
head.
there we
There
go.
you
Good
go.
one.
All right, number 6.
6.
Um,
Small head.
smaller. He was here for All-Star Game this year. He was on the national side of things.
Alex
Lord.
Rodriguez.
Incorrect. He was here this year playing.
in
Current
the
player.
All-Star game.
Oh, this guy was here to play.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
National League. I don't know who plays in the National League. I'll go with Manny Machado.
Incorrect. I reference his
Betts.
sunglasses a lot. Like the sunglass style. Bryce Harper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper. All right, number 7.
Seems too small.
Think of who you recently said. Someone close. Also, National League. Won a Silver Slugger this year.
Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts, correct. All right, 8, 9, and 10.
Lord. 10 looks like Tyler Glass now.
The flow, I hear you.
10 looks like John Gray.
He
can't
doesn't
really see
have
the
curly
beard.
hair.
Can't really see the beard, but 10 looks like John Gray. I know that's not it either.
9 looks like a left-hander. His head's kind of cocked. But I'll go with a hint. I'll go with a
I'm going to
hint.
say 8 is
A hint?
Sasaki.
Incorrect.
Oh.
You want a hint on 9?
I want to hit on all of them.
Okay. We'll start with 10. He was up for MVP American League.
Bobby Witt.
Correct.
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually
Locks.
thought it was Garrett Cole
No,
because
Yeah.
of the flow.
No,
But
Bobby Witt
Bobby's got
makes
some
sense
flow.
when
But
we know it.
It
Yeah.
is Bobby Witt. Number 9, he's one of the baddest men in postseason baseball this season. Couldn't stop him.
Kike Hernandez.
Incorrect. Think of the others.
The other side?
Other side, the American League.
Uh,
Bad man.
Stanton.
Correct.
Giancarlo.
And then number 8. We called him Mr. Clutch a few times. I will give you a hint. A New York team.
Pete Alonso.
Incorrect.
It's probably a Met, though.
It is a Met.
Mark Vientos.
Incorrect. Think of their premier guy.
Pete Alonso.
Think of their second premier guy.
That's Juan Soto. We already
Brandon
said him.
Nimmo.
Francisco Lindor.
Oh, Francisco Lindor, of course.
So
Yeah,
was fun.
dead ringer.
that is my game.
That's fun.
The first 4 were, honestly, I did get the first 4 without looking. Mike Trout, because of his traps. The others threw me for a loop, but I did think Garrett Cole was number 10 because of the flow.
Yeah, but Bobby Witt Jr. makes great sense too. So
Yeah.
right.
yeah. So look at there, a fun little Christmas game.
Yay.
We're within 2 weeks of Christmas, and now we're playing games here on the show. We appreciate you so much. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you so much. Tomorrow, we hope to have maybe an interview with each of one of the new old Rangers and
we'll
the new
see.
Ranger. But we'll see what we get. We're working on that right now. Thank you so much for being here, and we know we will see you again tomorrow at noon for another edition of the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.